AITA for telling my siblings I don't want to split the bill equally since they have kids. And I don't? Before watching the video, I ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and write any comment. The most interesting comment will be included in the next videos. Thank you to each of you. Enjoy watching. I'm Alex, 32 years old, a male, and I swear my stomach is still twisted from what went down last weekend. So here's the deal. I don't have kids. Never wanted them, never planned for them. My siblings, Rachel, 35, female, and Mark, 38, male, do. Between the two of them, that's 5 kids total. I love my nieces and nephews, don't get me wrong. I buy them Christmas gifts. I babysit when I can. I show up to school concerts. But every single family outing has slowly turned into me subsidizing their family lifestyle. It started small, like Rachel ordering an appetizer for the table, and then letting her kids devour it while I didn't touch a single piece. Or Mark insisting on splitting birthday dinners equally, even though his 3 kids are scarfing down steaks while I stick with a sandwich. At first I brushed it off. It felt petty to complain. It's family, I told myself. But over the years, that bill creep got ridiculous. A couple months ago, we went out to this new seafood place. I ordered 1 entree and a drink. Meanwhile, Mark's son is literally cracking open lobster claws like he's Poseidon reborn. Rachel's daughter ordered a giant platter, and they had 3 desserts for the table. When the bill came, $411, Rachel goes, all casual. So, we'll just split it 3 ways like usual? My stomach dropped. My meal was maybe $40. I felt like I'd just been mugged in broad daylight. Still, I kept my mouth shut that time. Paid it. Went home fuming. So last weekend when Rachel suggested brunch at this trendy spot downtown, I swore to myself I wouldn't let it happen again. The place was chaos. Kids throwing crayons, spilling syrup, waiters dodging strollers. I ordered a basic omelet and coffee. Rachel's twins ordered pancakes the size of manhole covers. Mark's kids wanted milkshakes with extra toppings. And of course more for-the-table items that I never even touched. When the check landed, it was over $300, and I finally snapped. I set my card down and said, I'll cover my part. My omelet and coffee were $18. Rachel froze, fork halfway to her mouth. Mark squinted at me like I'd just confessed to a felony. What do you mean your part? We always split it equally. Yeah, I said, trying to keep my voice calm even though my pulse was hammering. But you guys have kids. They eat triple what I do. I'm not paying for lobster tails and milkshakes I didn't order. I'll pay for what I ate. The silence was thick. The kids were still chattering, oblivious, but Rachel's face turned this bright, blotchy red. She slammed her fork down so hard it clattered against the plate. So you're saying our kids don't deserve to eat? That family should nickel and dime each other? I could feel people from other tables looking at us. My hands were shaking under the table, but I forced myself to keep my eyes on her. I'm saying I didn't order for 7 people. I ordered for 1. That's when the storm began. Rachel's voice carried across the whole damn restaurant. Unbelievable, Alex. You've always been selfish, but this takes the cake. She actually pushed her chair back so fast it scraped against the tile. Mark muttered something under his breath, then leaned forward like he was about to interrogate me. You think you're better than us because you don't have kids? He asked, his jaw tight. We're raising families. You wouldn't understand what it's like. I could feel my throat tightening, that burn you get when you're caught between anger and shame. This isn't about kids. This is about money. I'm not paying for 5 extra people every single time we go out. I can't keep doing it. Rachel laughed, sharp, ugly. Oh, poor Alex, Mr. No responsibilities. Must be so hard, only paying for yourself. Maybe if you actually grew up and had kids, you'd know what family means. That one landed like a punch to the gut, because it wasn't just a jab, it was history. Rachel has been making little digs like that since her twins were born. Like my life is somehow incomplete because I chose not to have kids. The waiter came by at the worst possible moment, trying to set down a stack of to-go boxes. Rachel snapped at him. "We're fine, thanks," without even looking. The poor guy scurried away. I stared at my sister. "I'm not incomplete, Rachel. I just don't want kids. That doesn't mean I owe you for yours." Mark slammed his palm on the table, making the silverware jump. "You know what, Alex? If Dad were still here, he'd be ashamed of you. Ashamed that his son thinks he's too good to help family out." That cut deep. Our dad passed when I was 20, and I swear Mark knows exactly how to use that as a weapon. My chest felt like it was caving in, but I still pushed back. "Don't drag Dad into this. He taught us responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean freeloading off your brother." The kids had gone quiet now, sensing the tension. Rachel's twins stared at their pancakes like they were suddenly the most fascinating objects in the world. Mark's youngest started to cry softly, and Rachel snapped at me again. "Now look! You've upset them!" People at other tables were openly staring. I wanted to sink into the floor, but instead I forced my voice steady. "I'll Venmo my $18. That's it." I stood up, slipped my jacket on, and walked toward the door, heart pounding like a drum. Behind me, Rachel shouted, "Don't bother showing up next time. You're not welcome if you can't be part of this family." And as I stepped outside into the cool air, I realized my hands were trembling, not from guilt, but from fury. By the time I got home, my phone was already blowing up. First, Rachel's texts, long walls of blue bubbles firing off like machine gun rounds. "You humiliated us in public. I can't believe you'd nickel and dime your own family. You embarrass my kids." Marks were shorter but nastier. "Grow the hell up. Dad would be disgusted. You're dead to me if you keep acting like this." I dropped my keys on the counter and just stood there staring at my phone, feeling my chest tighten. It was like the walls of my apartment were pressing in. For years I'd bent over backwards to avoid this exact fight, paid the inflated tabs, swallowed the resentment, told myself it wasn't worth a blow-up. But once the words were out, there was no stuffing them back. Around 8 p.m., Rachel called. I shouldn't have picked up, but I did. The second I said hello, her voice was sharp and shaky. "Do you have any idea how awful you made me look? In front of my kids? In front of a whole restaurant?" "Rachel," I said, exhausted, "I didn't make you look bad. You did that yourself by trying to stick me with your bill." Her breath hitched like she was crying, but then her tone switched on a dime. "Those kids are your family. Every time you refuse to help, you're refusing them. Do you even love them, Alex?" That one stung deep. I pictured my niece holding up the picture she drew for me last Christmas, my nephew running to hug me at the door. And now Rachel was twisting that love into a weapon. "Of course I love them," I said, my voice cracking a little. "But they're not my financial responsibility. They're yours." She let out this bitter laugh. "You'll regret this. You'll regret pushing us away. One day you'll be old and alone, and you'll wish you had a family that cared about you." Then she hung up. I sat there in the dark, staring at the silent phone, my reflection in the black screen looking like some stranger. My hands are still shaking. Later that night, I got a DM on Facebook from Mark's wife, Hannah. She wrote, "Not saying I agree with how they handled it, but you're right. The kids order way too much. Don't let them guilt you. I'll try to calm things down here. That one message hit me like a lifeline, but it also scared me. If Hannah was secretly siding with me, it meant things inside their house were about to get messy. And messy in my family never stays quiet. By Monday, it wasn't just texts anymore. It was public. I woke up, scrolled through Facebook half asleep, and nearly dropped my phone. Rachel had posted this long, self-pitying rant with a picture of her kids at brunch. Some people in our family don't understand what it means to support each other. As parents, we sacrifice so much to give our kids good experiences, and it's heartbreaking when selfishness gets in the way. My children deserve the same love and care as anyone else's. Shame on those who don't see that. She never named me, but she didn't have to. Everyone knew who the selfish one was. By the time I read it, the comments were already rolling in. Her mom friends, church acquaintances, people I barely remembered from high school. Wow, I can't believe family would do that. Kids are a blessing. Anyone who can't see that is broken inside. Cut the toxic people out, sis. Protect your babies. And then I saw it. Mark had shared the post, adding his own little dagger. Some people will never understand what Dad taught us about family. Guess we shouldn't be surprised. That one nearly made me throw my phone across the room, dragging Dad into it again, twisting his memory like a weapon. By lunch, my phone was buzzing nonstop. DMs from cousins asking what happened, and aunt saying Rachel seemed really hurt. Even an old coworker texting, "Dude, are you okay? Your sister's kinda going nuclear." But the worst was when Rachel weaponized the kids. That evening I got a voicemail from my niece sounding coached. Her little voice said, "Uncle Alex, Mommy says you don't want to be part of the family anymore. Did we do something wrong? I love you." I sat on my couch, fists clenched so tight my nails left marks in my palms. My sister was using her 8-year-old as a pawn in this circus. That night, Hannah texted again. "I didn't want to say this before, but Mark told the kids you think they're spoiled brats and that you don't want to see them anymore. They're confused and upset. I'm so sorry." My blood ran cold. I'd never said anything like that. But now, thanks to Rachel and Mark, 5 kids thought their uncle hated them. It wasn't just about the bill anymore. This was war. Update. Wow. I didn't expect my first post to blow up like this. I figured maybe a few people would tell me if I was being petty about the bill, but instead, I woke up to hundreds of comments, DMs, even a few people digging through my sister's public post and realizing it was about me. Y'all are ruthless, and honestly, it's the first time in years I don't feel insane about all this. Some of you said I should cut them off completely. Some of you suggested going scorched earth. My favorite comment was, "Stop paying for lobster when you ordered an omelet." I've been replaying that line in my head all day. But here's the thing. It's not just about the money anymore. It's about how far Rachel and Mark went to smear me. Rachel putting my name in every gossipy mom group she's in. Mark telling the kids I called them spoiled brats. That voicemail from my niece still haunts me. Her tiny voice asking if she did something wrong. I was pissed. Like shaking, can't sleep, pacing my apartment pissed. But buried under the rage, something else started bubbling up. Clarity. If they were going to turn this into a public spectacle, then fine. 2 could play that game. Because here's something Rachel and Mark forgot. People know me. My coworkers, my neighbors, even family friends. They've seen me babysit, seen me show up with gifts, seen me pay quietly and never complain. They know who's been footing the bill all these years. Rachel and Mark are banking on everyone buying their narrative, but I've got receipts. Literal receipts. I've been keeping old group Venmo transactions and screenshots for years because I'm meticulous with money. Every split evenly brunch, every overpriced dinner, all of it. And then Hannah, bless her, called me late last night. She whispered into the phone like she was hiding in the laundry room. "Alex, I can't stand what they're doing. I've told Mark to stop dragging you through the mud, but he won't listen. If you need proof of what they've said about you, I've got texts, screenshots, whatever you need." That was the spark. That's when I knew I wasn't just going to defend myself. I was going to turn this around. If Rachel wants to air dirty laundry in public, I'll show the whole damn neighborhood whose laundry stinks. Not with shouting, not with fighting, with truth. Cold, undeniable truth. And I know exactly when to drop it, because Rachel's planning her twins' birthday party next weekend. She's been bragging online about this family event at a rented venue, inviting everyone under the sun. And she made the mistake of tagging me in the invite post, even after saying I wasn't welcome. Oh, I'll be there, and I won't come empty-handed. The party was at one of those kid venues, a rented hall with balloons everywhere, a bounce house out back, and Rachel strutting around like she was hosting the Oscars. She spotted me the second I walked in. Her face froze, then morphed into this fake smile. "Oh, look who decided to show up," she said, loud enough for the crowd to hear. "I thought you didn't want to be a part of the family anymore." I ignored the bait. I handed the twins their presents, Lego sets I knew they had been begging for, and crouched down to hug them. "Happy birthday, guys." Their little faces lit up, and for a second I remember why I kept putting up with all of this. Then I stood, turned to Rachel, and said calmly, "I'm not here for you. I'm here for them." The whispers started almost immediately. I could feel eyes on me. Neighbors, extended family, church folks, everyone who'd seen Rachel's Facebook post and come here half expecting a showdown. Mark was by the snack table, glaring at me like he wanted to drag me outside. Hannah stood a few feet away, stiff as a board, avoiding his gaze. I knew she'd sent me those screenshots. When it was time for cake, Rachel made a little speech. "I just want to thank everyone who came out to celebrate. Family's everything. And some of us know what that means better than others." She glanced at me, smirking. That's when I pulled out my phone. My heart was hammering so hard I thought I might pass out, but I had already queued up the screenshots on a slideshow app. I walked to the center of the room and tapped the mic someone had left by the karaoke machine. "Actually," I said, voice steady, "since Rachel wants to talk about family, let's talk about what's really been happening." A hush fell over the room. I clicked the screen share onto the rented projector, and there it was. Venmo requests dating back 3 years. Dinner totals of $300, $400, $500, and every single one split evenly 3 ways. My $20 meals buried under their lobster feasts. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Rachel's smile faltered. Then I swiped to the next slide, a screenshot from Hannah. Mark's exact words in a group chat. "Alex is a selfish prick. I told the kids he thinks they're spoiled brats so they'll stop asking for him." Gasps. Someone muttered, "Wow." Rachel's face went pale. Mark started to push through the crowd, but Hannah stepped forward, voice trembling but clear. "It's true. I sent him those messages. I couldn't keep watching them lie to everyone, especially the kids." Rachel lost it. "You traitor! You don't get to—" She lunged toward Hannah, actually knocked over a table of juice boxes. Kids screamed as orange liquid soaked the floor. Mark grabbed her arm, but she was sobbing now, wild and unhinged. "He's twisting everything. He's trying to destroy us." I just stood there, my phone still in hand, shaking but calm. No, Rachel, you destroyed yourself. I just showed the truth. The room was dead silent except for the sound of one of Rachel's twins quietly asking, "Mommy, why are you yelling?" And that's when I knew my revenge had landed. Update 2. Yeah, that went nuclear. I didn't even get home before my phone was lighting up again. Calls, texts, DMs, people sending me clips. Because apparently someone at the party recorded the whole thing and it's already floating around Facebook. The projector receipts, Rachel screaming, her knocking over the juice table. It's all online now. The comments on that video's brutal. Stuff like, imagine guilt-tripping your brother into paying for lobster when he ordered an omelet. Weaponizing your kids is next-level disgusting. The wife is the only sane one in that family. Rachel deleted her original selfish sibling post, but the internet never forgets. Screenshots are everywhere, and now people are tagging me with support. Even some of her mom friends switched sides after seeing the receipts. And the fallout inside the family? Woo. Mark blew up my phone with voicemails. One where he screamed so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear, then another where he broke down crying, saying I'd humiliated them beyond repair. Meanwhile, Hannah sent me a text this morning. Thank you. I've been waiting years for someone to call them out. The kids know the truth now. That last part hit me hard. Because yeah, I didn't just want revenge. I wanted the kids to see I wasn't the villain. I wanted them to know their uncle never stopped loving them, never called them spoiled, never abandoned them. And when I hugged my niece before leaving the party, she whispered, "I knew you didn't hate us." That nearly broke me. But Rachel? She's doubling down. Apparently she smashed a photo frame of Dad in her living room after the party, screaming about how I used his memory against her. Funny, since they're the ones who kept dragging Dad's name into this. And Mark, get this, slashed his own tires in a rage last night, then tried to tell the people it was me. Luckily, one of their neighbors saw him out there with a knife in his hand. So yeah, they're unraveling, publicly, spectacularly. And me? I'm weirdly calm. For once I don't feel like the selfish one, or the problem, or the black sheep. I just feel free. I'm not going to keep going to their family dinners. I'm not going to keep footing their bills. I'll see the kids, sure, I'll always make room for them. But Rachel and Mark, they burned that bridge down themselves. I didn't think it'd end like this, but honestly, it feels right. It's been a week since the birthday party, and my world feels lighter. Rachel hasn't spoken to me since. Not a text, not a call. Fine by me. Mark tried once more, showed up at my apartment banging on the door, red-faced and raging, but I didn't open. Eventually he screamed that I'd ruined the family and stormed off. Later Hannah texted, "He punched a hole in the wall after he came home. I'm done covering for him." Meanwhile, the kids, they're the only reason I don't regret any of this. My niece sent me a drawing she made at school. Me holding her hand with the words "Best Uncle" scribbled in crayon. My nephew FaceTimed me to show off the Lego set I gave him. "Mom says you're bad," he whispered, "but I don't think so." That gutted me, but also told me the truth had sunk in. My mom called yesterday, too. She'd seen the video, heard the gossip, and for once she didn't side with Rachel. "Alex," she said, her voice shaky, "I didn't realize how much you've been carrying. I should have stepped in sooner." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Years of swallowing resentment, and suddenly the tide turned in a single week. Do I feel guilty? A little. Watching Rachel collapse at that party wasn't pretty. Seeing Mark spiral into tantrums that scare his own kids wasn't satisfying. It was sad. But guilt doesn't erase years of being treated like an ATM, like a second-class sibling, because I don't have kids. Here's the thing. Revenge wasn't about making them suffer. It was about reclaiming my voice, about refusing to let them weaponize my love for their kids against me. And the sweetest part? My revenge wasn't lies or sabotage. It was truth. Cold, undeniable truth that couldn't spin away. Now my phone is quieter. My weekends are mine again. I've been sleeping better than I have in years. And when I think about the future, it doesn't involve being dragged into bills I didn't rack up or guilt trips I didn't earn. It's just me, living my life, finally on my own terms. Maybe one day Rachel and Mark will calm down, maybe not. Honestly, I don't care anymore, because for once, I'm not paying for their chaos. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and like it. You can also watch more shocking stories in the playlist.